Good Lord, make sure let's give a finish at every 5 miles just in case somebody wants to bail. I'm not going to say this is a marathon debacle, but it's a marathon controversy.
I would put it more like that because I don't know that you can just poo-poo on race cancellation. So I want to be really careful with that because is it safety or is it, bubble wrapping things? We've used that term before.
Today, we're breaking down the Carmel Marathon follow and the growing divide between race directors and the runners who show up no matter what. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences that make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis.
And I'm Mitch. And there's two ways to say Carmel, I think. Carmel or Carmel.
What did I say this time?
You said Carmel.
Carmel?
I think they're both correct, actually.
I think it's Carmel.
I think they're actually...
It's not, because it's not caramel.
True.
This isn't the caramel that we're eating. This is Carmel.
That makes me hungry.
We're going to talk about the the Carmel Marathon, only because, man, we have talked about marathon debacles a lot this year. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say this is a marathon debacle, but it's a marathon controversy.
I would put it more like that because I don't know that you can just poo-poo on race cancellation. So I want to be really careful with that because it's, is it safety or is it, bubble wrapping things? We've used that term before.
Good Lord. Make sure, let's give a finish at every 5 miles just in case somebody wants to bail. We'll give you a marathon medal at 5 miles if you want to stop there. I know I like that. You can tell I still don't.
You have an opinion on this, is what you're saying.
You can tell I do not like the LA Marathon decision on that. Oh my goodness.
But I want to break it down. I think it's a little bit different than that because is it safety or is it too much? I don't know. I think it's a good discussion.
And I don't know that we're going to have any definitive answers here today, but I think it's a great discussion to have. And we know some people, people that listen to the show that are not happy about this.
Right.
So they actually sent, was it an email or a comment?
It was a message.
Yeah. That said, can you believe this again? Because
there's probably a little emotion with that.
Yeah, especially
I get it.
If you've been, imagine, we're going to get to it a little bit, but was it Arkansas that happened to you, or what was it?
Arkansas, they thought they canceled it mid-race.
That was mid-race. What was the one that...
It was Rocket City. They canceled the morning of. Could you imagine if you scheduled to go back the next year and they did it again? Right. And then, I was done with that race after that, but only because of logistics. We found something else. The other one was, what was the name of that one now? I know I had it in my notes.
That you did?
Yeah. It was
Sioux Falls.
Yeah. Sioux Falls. They canceled it 3 days before, but luckily I was injured and I was able to cancel all my travel and save all my money. So I was fine.
That one worked out.
That one actually worked in my favor.
Because they did it 3 days in advance. Right. Had they waited until the day of, you would have been
gone, injured, thinking I was going to run it.
And then be like, on everything. You'd been finding stuff to look at in Sioux Falls. So let's just jump into a little bit of this. The RD, here is the RD's perspective. This is an RD's perspective. Courtney Kipker, race director herself, provided a well-thought-out defense, and this would be for the race. It says you can't just flip a switch. It's almost like starting over from the beginning. This highlight helps explain the permit and logistics nightmare that runners often overlook because there's a lot that goes into a race.
Yeah.
And you can't just go we'll just wait a day. No, that's not how it works. You can't just do that stuff.
You're paying for police. You're paying, you got volunteers. It's just, there's so much going into that race. It's Yeah.
And you can't even, I think there is a little bit that they can get away with regards to maybe pushing it out a little bit as far as like maybe an hour or something. There's a little bit of slush there, but.
Oktoberfest marathon, they pushed it out a couple hours and waited for the weather to clear. I have done that too.
If a race can get away with that, I think that's a great option. But that's just not always going to be able to happen. And so for those, I guess we should say Carmel Marathon had to cancel again. They also canceled last year. Last year was
a couple hours before the race.
Before.
So you're dressed, you're ready to go.
Man,
we can't do it.
And so this year it was 3 days
but I'm sure they took flack for last year too. So it's like,
that's the thing. That's funny, right? Last year they canceled 2 hours before trying to get it in, had to cancel. People probably went ballistic. Why didn't you cancel this 3 days before? Save me that. And then this year, cancel 3 days before.
Why couldn't you just try to do it anyway? And I'm sure the weather was fine.
Of
and then
course.
Everybody's using that against them. Like, see?
Yeah. It's a tough thing. And it is a little bit of you can't win as the race director or the race organization, not even the race director, because it's more than just one person that's making.
They have insurance on the race. I'm sure there's clauses in there that says you can't run in these conditions.
True. Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into some of the unreasonable perspectives. We have the reasonable ones with the race directors, saying, you can, it's not a light switch. You got to actually look at this and all that goes into it, all the logistics. And then you have the unreasonable perspective, ignoring permits or legality, just run it anyway, move to a park, ignore police, plus city requirements. There were some comments of the such.
That's the best part of this, because it was a Facebook post. It's just reading the comments. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Do we have that down below? We're going to get to that.
I have it in the email that I sent you.
Good. We'll read some of those. The psychological blind spot, April, cool training, May 31st, potential 80-degree heat. So there is a major psychological change or shift that has to happen.
And it's basically you're tapered for this race. There's, you're retraining. Like you got to kind of start over.
On
that's never bothered me though, because I run all the time anyway.
And I do think that is the case for a few people, first-time marathoners that have trained for that race. They've lined everything up for it. The reason I'm bringing this,
but if they train poorly, it gives them hey, I got more time.
Gives them more time. But I would say that if you've trained for that race, postponing it 6 weeks isn't going to be. It's not going to be it's just going to allow you to get more prepared. I get that there's a lot of mental energy you put into a training cycle and all of that. I get all of that. But I think after you've done one, you get what it takes, right? And then, so I think that this really only affects your first-time marathoners, or those that are specifically targeting this for speed or whatever, PR, that kind of a thing, where they've put maximum effort, real maximum speed training and all of that to land them on this day and go their fastest on this day. And I'll say this, I just think that that's a sliver of a percentage. It's just not a lot of people. So everybody else is just out there to run a marathon. And I don't want to make it sound like that doesn't mean anything. It still means something. It's just that I think you can quickly go, all right, I got to shift. And some of those people aren't going to be able to get work off or this or that. I get it. There's a few people that are, that's going to really suck for. But for the majority, so let's say this is 1,000 people. I don't even know. This could be a much bigger race, 5,000. Of 1,000 people, you might have 100 that can't. Okay, that sucks. But for 900 other people, they get to now run that race and not have weather cancel it the morning of or during the race halfway through, like what did you just say? Arkansas did. I think that there's a lot of benefits to this too, or safe. I mean, the safety factor alone. Nobody got killed because they tried to do this race. So there's a lot of things you have to look at. And I don't think the 6 month or the 6 week thing is that big of a deal. That's just my take. That's how I feel.
Well, there's the hotel, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, hopefully you can get your refund and adjust. I get that. But I don't know.
What I know is it's expensive to do these things anyway.
Yeah.
One hotel loss, I'm just telling you from my own experience.
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money to do this stuff.
Yeah. You talked about Rocket City doing morning of cancellation. And then you had Sioux Falls multi-day cancel. You have been on both of sides.
I have, yeah, for sure. But I wasn't unhappy about the Sioux Falls cancellation.
True, you would have been more unhappy had you been healthy.
Right. But the Rocket City, I was kind of I don't know, just indifferent because it was coming down in sheets. Brian and I walked outside and it was oh my. And they said they had trees down. It made a mess of the course. There was no way.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality, it would have we could have ran in it. We've done dumber stuff, but it would have sucked.
Yeah. I guess, what is the experience you want to have of the marathon? I mean, I guess that plays a part too, you know? Who wants that to be their experience? I mean, it would be a good story, I suppose, but
you do a lot. You do all types of weather.
What if somebody does seriously get hurt, injured, or killed?
Right.
How much
are you responsible as a race director then?
Yeah, and as a community, I look at, what if the race director is pressured into feeling the next time, I got to put this on because the community hounded me. And then somebody does get hurt the next time. It's we have a responsibility, I think, as a whole, right? To understand that, I was thinking about this recently with something else. I was I was medical bills. How people would complain and go, why is that $500 for, or whatever, $50,000 for this? And instead of just, I'm not saying blindly accept, but you look at an invoice today or a breakdown, and it's got everything broke down, right? Well, that's all broken down because so many people complained about this and this and this and this and this, and you're paying. That's real money. That's real stuff, right? I'm not defending medical bills, okay? You plug this into anything. Plug it into your, let's say I had to get my furnace replaced. Plug it into anything. All these things get detailed breakdowns because too many people asked, why is it that much? Well, it's real money. It costs. Do it yourself then. You know what I mean? There's real money behind all of this stuff.
You think about that people do stuff on the side and they don't have to pay to have a place.
Right.
Of course they can do it cheaper.
Yeah.
They don't have to have a license. Of course they can do it cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's
there's a lot of things you can do cheaper if you do it illegal.
Right.
With no safety margin. No nurses or doctors standby. No medical personnel on standby. No, police keeping roads. There's
nobody. Your cups, they just fill up naturally because there's just rain filling them up. It's fine.
Yeah. Chicago Marathon, it's a popular one that we've talked about. Did similar shutdown mid-race. Was it mid?
It was mid-race.
Mid-race.
Yeah. Because they had the human chains trying to stop people from running.
That is crazy. And when what's crazier is if you're where do they do that? Do they start at the finish and start walking back?
I don't know. People were running through them. It's like that whole game when you're a kid.
Yeah. Red Rover. Woohoo! Send Susie right over and clothesline her.
Finally, all the training I did as a kid is coming. Now is my time.
Think of that game as a kid, the Red Rover game, and what that I've never seen kids on the playground playing that today.
They're missing out.
Oh my goodness. The virtual race debate. We've had this before. Mitch loves these. I'm
a big supporter.
Virtual does not equal real race. And I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Virtual does not equal real race because as far as you're not racing against others right next to you.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Still the distance. And I think you could still call it an event. You could still call it the Kalamazoo Marathon. It is a marathon. It's still that, but it doesn't take away from the distance, the completion, but it's not a race because you're no longer racing. Although I guess you could make the argument, what do you call it? Shoot, I can't think of it. Like a time trial type thing. Where, you're doing your best in that submit your
segment.
time. Yeah.
So there is that, I guess. But at any rate, it's very different. You don't have the starting line nerves, the crowd, the
logistics of just getting there.
Yeah.
Having to use a porta potty.
Yeah.
That's an experience all by itself.
Yeah. Look at Mitch's last race. The pictures. Yeah. There's a note here, canceled is part of the risk of the race. Well, yeah, I guess, but nobody is signing up
expecting
with the excitement of maybe, yeah. This might get canceled. It's part of the adrenaline rush.
Unless it's Sioux Falls and you're injured and you can get your money back.
That's true. Yeah, you had that real feeling there. So best practice, what is the best practice? Is it a 72-hour hard stop?
This is what I want to hear from listeners, though.
Yeah.
So this is the true question. Like, what's the right thing to do? Is a 72 hours hard stop, is that a good policy to have or not? Because is it too early?
Yeah, I think it's tough. And you and I kind of tossed around the whole, maybe it's a 72-hour high likelihood we will cancel, but maybe we have this option. I don't know. It's really hard. I don't know if you can do that either.
For Alaska coming up, I don't want them to cancel 72 hours. I want them to try, because I'll be there no matter what.
Yeah, when are you flying out?
The 17th.
Well, you're going anyway. So you're going, yeah.
So I'd like them to have it. I don't know.
Maybe there's a weather addendum waiver, which kind of like a no holds barred, anything goes. Tornado or not, you're running.
Well, I've gone skydiving, and you pretty much you sign a book like.
Oh yeah,
maybe it's the same thing. It's like you're skydiving. Like you're probably gonna die, but just go ahead.
You might survive, so
there's a chance you'll survive.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
Then there is the volunteer safety part. Man, that is a very key thing because, like you said, you signed up to run the race. Granted, whatever conditions, but those volunteers didn't. They didn't sign up to be out there in tornado winds and pouring rain.
They're going out there to hang out with their friends and laugh and have fun, and then they're going to get dumped on.
They're supporting you. Like that's the, and there's the safety, obviously the safety side of it with the volunteers. You don't want, you just want, you want it to be an enjoyable time, not where somebody gets hurt. Yeah, let's talk about some of the ridiculous takes on this. I will just look at some of these. Actually, from the actual comments, I'm just going to read some of these comments. So there's the shadow marathoner. One user, Joshua, said he posted that he wasn't changing plans and invited others to join him in running the actual race route on Friday evening instead. What's the difference between that and you and me just going running?
That's a training run. Yeah, that's fine.
It's just a training run.
I have no problem with it.
I'm not saying race it. If you want to go run, I think there are some caveats to this where you go, not going to support like a race, but hey, let's go run.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But you won't get your participation medal unless you...
not at 5 miles or 18 or wherever.
Unless you make your own.
Yeah, I suppose you could do that. Yeah, that's very true. You're doing it on your own. You're going and doing a long run. There's the weather denialist, user named Kel, I'm just going to leave last names out of this, mocked the decision. Who would sign up for this race again? They cancel on the chance of some weather 3 days out. Last year, the day was perfect by 9 a.m. Well, yeah, that's the risk you take. It says this ignores that 70% chance of storms isn't a gamble a director can take with, okay, so here we go, 6,500 people. That's a lot of people. If it was only like 5, it's like, we can gamble that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we don't want to lose anybody. the hotel refund blame. Deb, and this will be the last one, claimed she didn't get her $250 back from her hotel and blamed the new race leadership for the race going downhill. Well, I like downhill races.
Me too. Well, it does suck. I mean, nobody likes to lose money.
Like you said, all this stuff is expensive and all of it takes money and nothing comes without risk. And weather is one of those things.
Yeah.
And this isn't just exclusive to marathoning. This is all kinds of events.
When I went to Rocket City, we rented an Airbnb. We drove all the way down there. That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's an expensive trip to just go and hang out.
Yeah. And I was so like, they went out and went for a run when the weather cleared up. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
And I suppose, and the thing it is, you can try to make like lemonade out of lemons, but typically with a marathon, you're not there. You're just not going for a week to where you can go, well, hey, let's just go do this and go do that and go do this. It's usually one day and that's pretty much your focus. And
unless you're going to Alaska.
Unless you're going to Alaska. But yeah, let us know what you think. There is the whole, like I said, I think we've talked about some of the things that are pros and cons to this, or I think at the end of the day, I think every race director wants to put on their race.
Yeah, I would say yes.
The only reason they are truly trying or are going to cancel is if there is a real threat and they're just stuck in an unfortunate situation. And I think people are going to complain and get hurt or be like offended or hurt no matter what the RD does. Whether you cancel the morning of, 3 days before, it sucks. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, nobody is happy about this,
The race RD isn't either.
And, at the end of the day, you get to choose. Like if you choose that, hey, this is happening too often with this race, you get to choose to spend your money somewhere else.
Yeah,
so
I think
that's your choice.
Yeah, and here's the deal. You look at like Indiana Trail Run. They moved their race from the spring to the fall specifically because it was always getting like
rain
and terrible. And that's a trail run. They would still have it. It was awful. It was bad.
That's one of your favorite ones though.
I do like the race. Like, don't get me wrong.
You don't like mud?
No, I thought it was fun. It was a very tough race.
Mile?
Well, and it was hard to stay upright. That was the first of 5 that year. But at any rate, let us know what you think in the comments. I don't want to say, did they do the right thing? Let us know what is a better way.
What would you do different? How would you do it?
Yeah, there you go.
If you were in charge of that race or any race for that matter, what's the best policy?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. But that is going to wrap up this episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just went up.
Until then, happy running.